I mean, the parents, I mean, the community base, oh man, it was nothing like it. Like, even though we lost a couple here and there, but that community base, oh my God, it's nothing like it. We got to get back to the love, because people don't understand love conquers all. Even, you know what I'm saying, like, even if it was a beef, you know, we still was looking out for each other.
When you talk about being black in St. Louis, what comes to mind? Depression, anxiety, gang signs. Like a child stripped from its growth. You know they profit off our deaths on the low. And I'm tired. The preacher can't preach no more. Oppression, natural selection, and anguish. In the culture, when they say telling is lame shit. If your community don't uplift you, it's not a community, it's a trap. Some make it in, but they never make it back.
Let your thousand stories cover over me.
Today I had a brief interview with Bernard, a community advocate. STL News, this is Amin Ali, and I'm here with Bernard. Bernard, can you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
I grew up in North St. Louis, Walnut Park area. I spent about 18 years of my life here, seen a lot of things, met a lot of people, some good, some bad. I'm a product of St. Louis Public Schools, and now that I'm currently working at St. Louis Public Schools, and looking forward to giving back to the kids in our community.
Okay, so you say you're a product of St. Louis Public Schools. How hard was it for you not to become a product of your environment?
It was tough at times, but I will say I had a different outlook. I had a hard-working dad, and I had a stay-at-home mom, so that made my situation a little more different than, you know, my peers.
Do you feel like that's kind of unknown now within our generation and the generation up under us? Do you feel like that plays a part in what's going on right now?
Oh, it's a huge part. You know, I think it takes two. You know, sometimes, you know, you have to do it by yourself, but I think two makes it easier.
Mm-hmm. So what can we do as a community to heal? Because we're all hurting. We're dealing with anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress syndrome. What advice could you give to the community to heal?
We gotta remain united, and we gotta identify the problems and the issues and try to move forward.
So what would be some of the problems and the issues that we're faced with today?
A lot of single-family homes, poverty, lack of education. You know, we don't deal well with. I think we struggle with talking about our issues. Like, we are always trying to sweep it under the rug instead of identifying it and correcting it.
So, you know, recently it's been a string of violence. What could you say to the youth, especially these young men? What would be some advice you can give to them to overcome some of their issues?
I think they have to realize how important life is, you know. I think we've been caught up in, I think death is more accepted now, and we don't think about that's the end, there's no coming back. It don't matter how many, you know, t-shirts you make, you know, somebody's affected by your choice and your decision, and it goes a long way, because if you kill a man and he has kids, then his kids are growing up without parents. So we just create a continuous cycle that we have to stop.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like we are suffering from generational trauma?
Yes, very much so. I would say that, because if you look at one dad's not in the home, it becomes the norm. And really, that's not how the family was supposed to be set up.
So do you feel like things were systematically put in place for us to fail, or for us to be at this current state, St. Louis, the current state of St. Louis?
Without question. Yeah, we've been targeted. We look at the availability of these weapons. If I look at my community, you can go from here all the way up to West Florissant. I don't know anybody who makes guns. I don't know anybody who makes bullets, but yet they're so prevalent.
With the recent string of gun violence, what can we do to combat that?
We got to educate, you know, let these guys know it's no life after death. You know, I ain't gonna say no life after death, but I'm gonna say it's no coming back. And the effect that you have on others, you know, when you kill somebody, it affects not only them, it affects their family, it affects you. You know, it's a whole string of events that follows murder. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of brokenness that comes behind it. Lord forbid they have kids, then the kids are going to be broken. So it's just a cycle that is just continuing to go on.
Would you say the politicians care about what we're going through?
No. And it's a slippery slope. But I think, and I know this ain't the question, but I feel like we have to care first. You know, we still battling light skin, dark skin. You know, that's crazy. So I think as a whole, as a race, we have to come together. And the pioneers, I'm talking about the guys who understand what life is really about. We're missing that. Because I remember growing up over here, if I can elaborate on this, if I can talk about this, I remember the guy was a guy up the street, Mr. Royston. He had a baseball team. I mean, we had so many community outreach type situations. We can go up the Wall Bridge and play basketball all day. And look, we had the softball team. Then we would be at the cage. You know, if you look around now, I don't see any kids outside playing. You know, and that's kind of troubling. And I think.
Do you feel like it's safe in the Walnut Park area for kids to play?
I don't. But I'm just looking like, how did we lose that? You know, and it's tough. Like, we got to figure out how do we get back to knocking on the door. You know, when you're a kid, you knock on the door, hey, you got some sugar, hey, you got some ketchup. Now it's like everybody's like, don't look at me, don't touch me, don't talk to me. And that's the era we live in, and it don't have to be like that.
So what can we do to get back to that?
We have to start reaching out. First we have to reach out to these kids, the youth. And then I think we missed the whole generation, like my generation, probably your generation, in that 30 to 40 range. You know, we have to get back and reconnect with them and let them know, hey, we still got hope. It ain't too late. You know.
So you will agree that it is definitely a disconnect.
Yes, indeed.
From us to the youth.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a huge disconnect. Have an open ear. Have an open mind. Don't be afraid to fail, and don't be afraid to work hard. Because anything that is given to you ain't really worth having, because it'll easy come, easy go. I remember growing up trying to hustle. I wasn't really built for it. I lied to you not. But I can't account for any of that money. But now that I work hard, I see the fruits of my labor. Now I know where every dime goes, you know what I'm saying? So it's a sacrifice. It means something to put some hard work in. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to do the small things, you know. Don't be afraid to take the long route. Take the long route, excuse me. But that easy way, easy come, easy go. And that's my thought on that.
So I actually had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Curtis Royston, a community advocate.
Mentor to me, I mean, community activist. He would pick us up in his truck and load about 12 of us up to play softball, basketball, baseball. So I owe that to him. I mean, when I saw him when we came down the street, it was just like magic, and I appreciate you, man. I just wanted you to know that, bro.
Man, well, I gotta say too, and I want to say this on camera, that it's all love, because as a young man who's grown into a full-blown man, I still hold all those memories y'all helped me to create dear to my heart. Because one of the ones I always tell about this softball team is it was us around there on Davidson and Lillian when that building was still standing.
Yes, sir.
And we went around there because there was some writing on the wall that wasn't appreciated by the community, we will say. And it was us that went around, and despite everybody warning us, y'all shouldn't be taking that writing down, y'all shouldn't be painting over that. No, this needs to come down. I remember walking to the back of that building that day and seeing that there was a hole in the floor and deciding that was unsafe. And because of that, that building came down. It's now Patricia Frederick Garden. I remember also walking across the street, and they had the girls over in the schoolyard preparing for the May Day parade that day and doing what they were taught to do. It wasn't what we were doing over there. So that was why I did that. That was what it took to make men. And sir, you have done it, and I give thanks. I give thanks. Matter of fact, and I want the world to know that in this town, in this day, this is love right here. This is heart to heart. This is heart to heart. It ain't all about the handshakes. No, we love each other, and I appreciate this young man, because real things do come up out of St. Louis. Real things do come up out of Walnut Park, and this young man is an example of it. B has done it, and I'm so proud of it. I thank you all for listening to it. Really.
So you guys, you know, if I made it out, so can you. You know, it's no different. Everything comes with a price, and it's just what price you're willing to pay. How far you willing to go for your success, for your future. and just trust the process, and everything will be all right.
It's time we start to love one another again, to embrace one another. Thank you guys for tuning in.